Prop Show. Meyer is here. Cooper is here. We went over the Tuesday NASCAR outrights on Tuesday night. What's going on, boys? Oh, hit the like button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're not a member, because I'm going to get in trouble if I don't say this. And you could use the promo code NASCAR is back for a 1-week free trial at nukethehouse.com. I encourage everybody to go and check it out. And that's my pitch. Meyer, Cooper, how are we today?
Well, unfortunately, I sound like I'm doing better than our guy Reed Cooper here.
Reed Cooper's going through it right now.
Yeah, and as a person who's experienced some of what he's been going through, I feel bad for him. I feel terrible for the guy.
You don't feel bad at all.
Cooper?
I do.
Yeah, Adam was on his deathbed last week. He was like, bro, I'm dying. So
I was ready to go.
He would care a lot less about it if you didn't just go through it, though. I'll tell you that. Probably. How you doing, old man? How we feeling?
Well, I'm all right, man. Y'all been very negative towards me.
What are you talking about? What do you mean we've been negative towards you? What does that even mean?
You haven't given me any encouragement, man. Everything's like you sound like shit.
I hope you feel better.
Blah blah blah. You know. Oh well.
I really hope you feel better, buddy.
Yeah.
All right. So Tuesday night.
Before we start,
go ahead.
Any of your thoughts changed since Tuesday night with the outrights?
I was just going to retouch the outright market.
Oh, okay. Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, hey, man. We've been doing this a while now. You know, I expect it. So Tuesday nights, we went through the outright market. I was talking to Meyer today. Coop, I think you have to have a Ryan Blaney ticket in your pocket.
I'm not.
I'll tell you why. Don't get me wrong. He could easily not win the race, right? But it will be far easier for you to make up that unit that you punt on him if he doesn't win the race than it will be for you to even remotely probably catch a price in that race, considering has finished second for the last 5, hasn't finished outside the top 5 in the Gen 7 car, and to boot, he qualifies 15, 16, 17, somewhere around there, the last 3 races here. It doesn't matter. He's well into the top 10 at the end of stage 1. I just don't see how you are. I don't know what's going to have to happen in that race for us to be able to get a price on him if we need to get on him. If you don't go into the race with him and just accept the fact that if this option tire is probably bad for Blaney, and if things change, I'd rather punt the unit, because how do you square this guy finishing no worse than second 4 of the last 5 races here and not having a ticket on him just because of that tire? Because we could both, if we don't bet him, we could both be in a spot where we have these great prices on the people that finish second, 4th, 6th, 7th. And the guy that has absolutely shit on this race year in and year out in this car, we're not even going to be able to get on him. I feel like you almost have to punt a unit and bet him.
I understand your reasoning. I mean, it makes sense and everything, but I mean, you can always, parlay Blaney with Goran Ivanišević or somebody like that on Sunday. Tennis shit.
That can't be a real human being.
Come on, man.
But I understand your reasoning. It makes sense.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's just gonna go stubborn old man here, and he's just gonna say, "I'm not doing it." I don't think logic's gonna come into play here.
Maybe when I come back to the real world, and my logic might make sense to me, or your logic might.
All right. Yeah. Well, let's give him a couple days, Meyer. He's not feeling the best right now. Meyer,
well, so to your point, Ryan Blaney is second best average speed rank on short flats.
Right. I have to do the video for Odd Chopper, and in it, I was like, Chris Bell, Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott, undeniably the 3 best cars on the track on a short track last year. So I agree with you. He's a beast.
Yeah, and to your point, right? He's finished second, fifth, second. But knowing that he's qualified, basically on the verge of 15th, 16th, and 17th the last 3 years. Like, even if that number goes to 7 or 8, wouldn't you rather do something with it after qualifying? I mean, how much lower what's the odds you think he gets the pole?
How I would expect him to qualify around where he's qualified the last 3 races, if I had to guess, right? He's qualified from 15th to 17th, right? Okay. Let's say that happens again. How much can you really move that number based on the results? I don't think you could really, like, maybe $1.50. Coop, how much do you think they move that Blaney number if he qualifies in row 7?
I'd probably say the high is 8. I mean, it all depends too.
It's not going to go down. Right?
No. I mean, if he's on the pole, it will go down for sure.
Right, but I guess my logic here is I would almost rather bank on him qualifying where he has recently and able to see the practice data, see what he does on the primary tire and the option tire. If we get 20 lap data or better for either one of those tires, and then see, are you still wanting to get on?
I don't disagree with that at all. But I think at the end of the day, we have to bet him if we're going into the outright market. That's all that I'm saying. I would say, Coop, if I was going to give you my top 5 right now, I would say Bell, Byron and Larson, Briscoe, no particular order, and
say his name.
I'm gonna say Ryan Blaney just because I respect what he's done here. But if I was gonna give you another guy, I think that Chris Buescher and Denny Hamlin are real close. Real close.
Timeout. You just went on a spill about having to bet Ryan Blaney, and now you're not putting him in your fucking top 5.
Yeah, but I'm still gonna have a ticket on him. Yes.
That makes no flipping sense, man.
Because I think I'll tell you why. Because you and I are both right. Your reasoning for not wanting to back Ryan Blaney is sound. It's not bad. You're not wrong, but you still have to bet him, and that's my point.
Right.
I totally get what you're saying, which is why I don't think maybe he's not a top 5 kind of guy with this option tire, but you still got to bet him.
So anyways, segueing, Meyer brought up something I was going to ask. He was talking about practice with the 2 sets of different tires.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to read into it? What if Chris Bell's fast in the regular tire and 10th practice-wise in the option tire? Like, what is that going to tell you?
I'm going to read this practice data like I read the practice data for every race. And I'm just going to I would assume how is practice going to work? Like, are they going to differentiate the data from the option tire and the normal tire?
No.
I don't know. So it's going to be on Prime this year. So I don't know if Prime is going to designate who's on what tire. But the more that I thought about this, because I went back and watched the Richmond race.
Pause. What the fuck is on your wrist? What is on your wrist right? What is that? Is that an Apple Watch?
Yeah.
I've never seen that fucking monstrosity on your wrist before in my life. Go ahead.
Well, I've only had it on my wrist for 8 months, but whatever. Okay.
Ahead,
where was it prior to that?
At the store.
Oh, I thought maybe you had it on your neck or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, so I went back and watched the Richmond race, and I mean, don't you think? I mean, if you're good on the primaries, you're going to be good on the softs, right? You're only going to run faster with the softs.
I don't know. I don't know if that's necessarily true.
Right, but like, what if he could run faster? The example I gave you, but what if he was the 10th fastest? But he was the fastest on the normal tire.
But
Like,
you're
I
gonna
don't
get,
know.
but you're gonna get such a mixed bag with people who are on the option tire and not on the option tire. Like you're gonna be
Like,
in
I think
traffic
you
versus
very
not in
well.
traffic.
I think you very well could leave this practice more confused than what you are now.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, if they're not going to differentiate the data and you don't even know what you're looking at, who was on this tire, who was on that tire, throw the fucking practice data out the window at that point.
I can
Well,
100.
I think you could look at the lap averages and see, right? Because Suarez was 2 mile an hour faster when he switched to the option tire than the leader at the time, than Denny Hamlin at Richmond. And I mean, he drove straight to the front. I think you're going to know in practice who's on what tire, regardless. You just have to watch it.
I can 100% guarantee you that the information presented from NASCAR.com will not be differentiated. It'll just be the averages of the entire practice.
Right.
That's how it was for Richmond. You're going to have to find somebody who scrapes the data, or you're going to have to be like Meyer and but then you're going to have to scrape the data.
So when I went back and watched the Richmond race, there's just two strategies. And I would assume that if the race kind of plays out the same, I'm kind of curious as to what you guys think about just strategy with the option tire. There was just two ways they went about it, right? Two drivers used it to obviously make up track position at the end of stage 2 or in stage 2 to drive from the back to the front. That was Suarez and McDowell. They said on the broadcast, obviously the race winning strategy would be to hold on to the option tire as long as you possibly can. Hold those reds until the final stage. But if you go out and you're not, if half the field or more goes out on the option tire, you're almost dead.
Yeah.
So they're almost like the field is almost going to force your hand.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Say that one more time. Why? You're saying that if half the field or the majority of the field decides to run the option tire at one time and other people didn't, you're basically drawing dead?
Because you're losing.
You're losing
I think
position.
some people were losing almost a second a lap at Richmond.
Yeah, but the life of the tires is 30 fucking laps.
No, at Richmond they were running 45.
And they should get a little
on
bit
the
more
option tire. On the option tire.
Yes.
Right.
And that was Suarez running them. Like imagine the guys who can actually stretch the life of that tire.
Adam, when you were watching the Richmond race, and the majority of the field was on the option tire, did they lap the drivers that were not on it?
No, there was because there was a mixed bag, but I think like the top 17 or 18 had it, and the guys, I don't think anybody went off of the lead lap at Richmond, but I'd have to go back and look at how many laps was actually ran before some of the guys decided to come down, because there was a mixed bag because of a caution. Some guys put options on and some guys didn't. So, but you're at such a disadvantage the longer it goes because of how much time you're making up per lap, that if you go down a lap, I mean, that really forces your hand, you'd think, right?
Like it's going to be so NASCAR, like, they're going to spend all this time trying to figure it out and all this and all that. And like nobody, or the vast majority of them, aren't going to use any of the option tires, and they're going to use both of them in the last stage. And it's going to.
I was just going to say that. You don't think that everybody is saving a set of those tires for a late caution?
Well, everybody's going to save at least one set for a late caution. That's what everybody did at Richmond.
But
the people who want to make up track position in the back of the field, like it worked out for Suarez. It also worked out for McDowell. I mean, McDowell, I think, finished in the top 10 of that race. But they had to make up. I mean, he drove from 34th to, I think, like 7th in his run.
Yeah.
So, you did find guys were.
But where did he go? Where did he go once he had to run that shitty old tire, and everybody else ran that option tire? I would assume he just started plummeting through the field like a stone, right?
I don't remember specifically watching him in general. He did whatever the strategy that played out. He made his way back into the top 10 when he finished.
Like, wouldn't you think it has to even out, Coop?
No, I mean, like, I think it all comes down to how many people are on them tires, because like when a bunch of people have the option tire, it's like even out. It's like, you gotta remember, it's a short track package. It's hard to pass in this daggone short track package.
It is, for sure.
And even at Phoenix, track position is king, right? So I mean, if people are really trying to make up track position, if they're stuck, at the end of stage one at the back of the field, I mean, I think you're going to have a little bit. I think you're going to have a mixed bag of people that are just trying to make up track position.
But what throws a monkey wrench into all this is like it's incredible. It's the hardest to pass the leader on a short track, but not if they're on the wrong tire strategy. Then they're going to get blown by like they're standing still.
Right. I think a lot of what we'll see is like it's just who's going to benefit from caution landing where.
Right. It's hard to predict.
So you don't think that we're going to see the majority of people you take that first? You don't think we see 30 plus cars in the field all go to that option tire the first time at the same time?
No. I think somebody's going to try and make a track position and do something different than the leaders. Who that is, I don't know. But I would say the race winning strategy would be to hang on to those as long as possible. Would you say that Phoenix is more abrasive than Richmond?
No.
In terms of tire wear?
No.
So, I mean, they could stretch if they were stretching those tires at 45 laps at Richmond. I mean, could they get 60 laps out of them at Phoenix?
I mean, it's you're a quarter of a mile difference. Richmond's smaller than Phoenix, but yeah, you're going to be able to stretch it longer than what you did at Richmond.
Yeah. So the tire, I don't know, I've been racking my brain about the tire, even more so after watching the Richmond race.
I still haven't watched it yet. I got to watch it before I make bets. All right, let's go through the props. Top three.
Real quick, man. Like I saw Adam has his AirPods in.
Yeah.
I saw a tweet today. Cameron Young, he's a professional golfer. Teed off on his first hole today with his AirPods in.
Is that the guy that looks like Joe Dirt?
I don't know who Joe Dirt is.
Oh my! Oh.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we're going.
I can tell you he's a guy that like the last like year and a half, 2 years was playing very well, and he has completely lost his game this year.
I think the guy that you're thinking of
is in Live, right?
Yeah, he's a Live.
Yeah, I think so too. All right, top 5 market, boys. Anything pique your interest?
Not in the top 5 for me.
Cooper?
I honestly can't tell you. I couldn't tell you what the top 5 numbers were. Haven't looked at it, but I can tell you the thing that concerns me about betting a top 5 at this track is you take out Ryan Blaney, and the hit rate for a top 5 in the new gen car is no better than 50%.
Yeah, but I mean that might be 3 or that's half the races.
Right. You half the time, 1 out of 2. Whereas like when you look at like last week at Coda, the drivers were in 80%, like Tyler Reddick and stuff like that. So
yeah, but we've had 6 races here in the next gen car, right? I mean, yeah. So 3 or 4 out of 6 is a lot better than 1 out of 2, no?
I mean, they're still 50%.
Right, but they've shown that they are consistently hitting it, though, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you want to look at it like that, but you still have a 50% chance of losing it. So it's tough. Like
no top 5 for you?
No, I'm not going to have any top 5s this week.
I probably won't either. But man, with all this shit going on with this tire, right? And the unknowns, there are some fucking crazy prices out there to hit the top 5.
Agreed.
16 to 1 on Graxon, 16 to 1 on Priest, about the same on Hocevar and Suarez and Custer. I mean, a lot of these guys, a lot of these people can crack the top 5 if this race turns into a total shit show. I don't know.
Hold on. Top 5.
What do you think, Meyer?
Like,
I totally understand why you wouldn't be running to bet like anybody like a Will Byron at plus 125 or Kyle Larson at even money, the top 5 of the race. But like some of these numbers, around 20 to 1-ish, a little less.
So if you look at the top 5s in the 6 races that we've had at Phoenix, not one driver in like a Cole Custer, a Carson Hocevar, a Noah Graxon type driver has a top 5.
But what does that mean? They never ran the option tire here.
No, they haven't. But
okay,
if you look at who has a top 5s, Ryan Blaney, Byron, Chastain, Chris Buescher, Reddick, Larson, Logano, Briscoe, Bell, Brad Keselowski, and Ty Gibbs.
Yeah, the same people that we think should run well here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like you've got to get a very, very, like very good number. Like I'm talking 10 to 1 or more. Because it's an outreach. None.
Yeah, I don't really disagree with what you're saying. But I just think that with the added volatility of this race and this tire, there could be a couple bombs hit the fucking board.
There could be, but then that word that you just used, volatility.
Yeah,
there might not be any. None.
Well, wouldn't you say everybody?
Yeah, but that'll bear out in our outright bets because I'm going to bet it like there's not going to be any.
Well, strategy is going to be everybody's going to save one set of option tires for the final.
Right.
Right. When you think, don't you think that has, don't you think that cuts down the volatility on the race finish? I don't think like anybody's going to run up from, back of the field.
Like you're going to have to be, there. Like you're going to have to have a good car the entire day.
So then why wouldn't you like Chris Bell or Ryan or Kyle Larson or somebody like that to top 5?
Because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 12 of them that have top 5. Only 5 of them earned it. Like, it's just been a big, you can pick 5 drivers. This race, you might get 4 of them. The next time they do it, you might get 1.
Right. All right. Top 10 market.
I do have a couple bets here. I did bet Chris Buescher at plus 140. And then I do have a bet on Hocevar at plus 465.
Don't mind either of those.
That number at FanDuel on Hocevar is quite off of the market. I mean, it's all down to plus 175 at Canby, like plus 340 at ESPN. I even think MGM was not far off of that $3 number. But 465 at FanDuel. For a kid, I mean, he's only gotten better here. I mean, MGM's got plus 190 on him to top 10. You're getting almost 5-1.
Yeah, I don't mind it. We were talking. I don't know when we were talking about that, his top 5 and top 10, but we were talking about it on some show.
I think you guys mentioned it on the Tuesday show, right? On your outrights, instead of betting him to win the outright.
Maybe.
Right? His top 5 numbers 15-1.
That's what I'm saying, bro. God.
I mean, the kid is he's just gotten better at this racetrack. Now, I mean, can he top 5? Maybe, depending on how good his car is all day. But wouldn't you say that Spire as a team, don't you kind of expect more from them this year?
I do. I mean, but like Coop says, road courses and super speedways are kind of their thing.
This will be
let's see what happens this week. We'll know a lot more about their year after this week.
Well, I'll tell you the one thing about that kid is he won't hesitate to make or to move people to get where he needs to go. We've seen it.
I mean, they're making it almost impossible for you to get on Bell, Blaney, Larson. I mean, even like with a parlay piece, you're maybe going to get it to a little bit more than even money.
I mean, the two that stick out to me are Ross Chastain and Bubba Wallace.
Yeah, we mentioned both of them on the Tuesday show too.
But like, if you go to what I was just saying, like even if you look at top 10s, you would add a Daniel Suarez, who has 2, a Bubba Wallace that has 2, Barry has 1, Alex Bowman has 1. That's it.
Yeah, it's tough. I don't know. I just don't like the prices. Like, I would get involved in the top 10 market, but some of these prices suck. Like, I don't mind Busher at plus 140.
Right.
I don't mind Chastain at minus 140 because you could easily get plus 140 on that.
Like, I think the most expensive that I would go up to would be Denny Hamlin at 175. I'm looking at 365, so I don't know what.
Yeah, so am I. I'm just looking at that right now.
Hamlin, Briscoe, Chastain at minus 140.
What do you think about Reddick, Coop?
He could get there. I mean, they've been, solid. They got some good momentum going. I don't know. But man, NASCAR freaking hates them.
I mean, in terms of a straight top 10 bet where you don't have to probably tie something to it, I wouldn't feel good about anything besides Chris Buescher, probably. Because I don't know what to make with Josh Berry being in that wood car. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, ordinarily, I would say Berry 100%. But now he's in that 21 car. Who the fuck knows?
Right.
What do you think about Bubba almost 2-1 the top 10?
Yeah, like if like you said, if you were just looking at straight plus numbers,
yeah,
Buescher and Bowman, Wallace would be my 2. And then, I wouldn't mind taking a shot at Hocevar if you could get, what'd you say, 360?
Yeah.
465.
That number, I think, was like 5-1 when we were talking about it on Tuesday night. So it moved a little bit, but not much.
Well, FanDuel just opened their top 10 market this morning, I think.
No,
he was only 360 at.
I was looking at it out at FanDuel on Tuesday night.
Oh, their top 10 wasn't open. At least not for me. They were the last ones to open top 10.
That's where
top 5 market.
Ryan Preece is another one who could possibly sneak you into the top 10.
You could be right, Mark. I could be wrong.
What's Preece's number on FanDuel, Adam?
Preece's number is 220.
Whoa.
You can get 220 at DK.
It's 450 at 365.
Yeah.
Big difference.
There's a lot of different numbers when you look across the top 10 market across books for here. So, I mean, he's 2-1 at Canby. He's 3-1 at ESPN. There's some differences there. 350 at MGM.
All right. Other than that, though, I don't see much in the finishing markets. Winning manufacturer, Coop, anything pique your interest?
No. I mean, I think they're close. 150, 160, 230 is what they have them here. I don't, know what they are on the books, but I think that's fair.
I don't know if Toyota. I guess you got to favor them because of Bell. I don't know. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't see value in it.
Yeah, not enough that I would bet the manufacturer themselves.
Race winning teams.
So this is where I went back and forth all week long about so many cars. To your guys' point on Tuesday night, right? There are so many cars that could win this race. Wouldn't you feel great going into Sunday if you had 10-1 on JGR and HMS? If you found legs that you felt comfortable with just those two teams?
Yeah, but like you know how much you got to put in on that?
I think if you get two around even money legs, it gets you to 9-1 on JGR. Their JGR is 2-1.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Bet365. They have them plus 160, and they have Hendrick at 2-1.
Caesars had they had 180 on JGR and 230 on Hendrick.
The problem is you're gonna need multiple legs to get there.
So a minus 105 and a minus 115 takes you to 995 on Hendrick Motorsports at 2-1.
Right. So I just said 10-1 on each. If you could have those in your pocket on Sunday, would you not be elated to go into that race with that batch of drivers?
I mean I would feel better, but I mean,
there's a lot of people.
You still have Ross Chastain,
Blaney,
you have Reddick, and then Blaney. So,
I mean, yes. Would I cry over having 7 guys that could win the race or not really? 1, 2.
You probably throw Bowman out, and you probably throw Gibbs out. Right?
Yeah, I mean, would I be happy if I could get 5 guys to win the race at 10-1? Sure.
Well, don't you think it's 6, right? The 3 from HMS and the 3 from Joe Gibbs could definitely get there.
Oh, I guess maybe if you're going to add Denny. Yeah. Yeah, I guess 6.
So, anyways, that was just my thought on if you could get those those teams. Other than that, not interested in like just any team outrights.
I think the only one that even remotely makes sense from like a straight bet perspective is kind of where Coop was going with Roush, because I do think Keselowski could show up in this race, and I think Buescher will be. I think Buescher will be good.
RFK is the one that I think out of everybody that is priced where they are, I think RFK is the one wild card. Because Buescher is good here too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, granted, you could probably get them at 22 and 35-1. So maybe it's better to just bet them straight.
Yeah, because you don't think Priest has a shot at winning, right?
I don't think so. To actually win.
Right. I mean, I think his win opportunity is just as good as Carson Hocevar or Noah Gragson.
I'll buy that.
Because whatever way the other two would get there, he would get there the same way. I mean, it's not like either one of them is going to win on speed.
Yep. Top Chevy.
There's just so many good Chevys. I don't know if I want to pick them apart. I mean, it's pick your poison with the HMS guys, right?
I think that those three guys should be the favorite at Bet365. I don't have any issue with that. Chastain's going in the wrong direction at this track.
I mean, do you think it's anybody other than Larson, Byron, Elliott, or Chastain?
I mean, do you think KB has speed?
He's
The
so
only-
slow in this package last year. On
Until they
this
weren't.
track.
No. Realistically, Coop, no, I don't. And unless there's going to be some kind of Daniel Suarez situation, somebody's coming fucking flying late at 30-1. Then,
Right.
then I would say probably not. I would think Larson, Byron, Elliott, Chastain. One of those should be your top
Chevy.
Chevy. Yeah.
And don't you feel like that's such a tough market every week just because of how heavily weighted the HMS guys are always going to be? And it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, which one of those guys are you going to choose that's going to be good off the truck?
For sure. Coop, do you remember what was it? Was it short tracks last year, or was it mile and a halfs that we were surprised with how Stenhouse looked?
I think mile and a half.
Okay, couldn't remember that. Top Ford, just fuck right off.
Don't
The
you?
guy's minus 110.
I think there's some plus money out there still, but not much. I got that market. So Blaney, the best that opened was plus 120.
Going back to Stenhouse, he has a one top 20 here, 19th.
That price is. What's the best number on Chris Buescher right now, Meyer?
Right now, I think it's 7. I thought about betting him when he opened at plus 950 at Caesars. That was the one guy in this market I think I was going to bet.
750 Coop is not bad.
Like if Coop's right and Blaney's just kind of ho hum, like that's a good number on Buescher.
My only concern with that, like you're taking Keselowski too, right? I assume.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was going to be my next thing.
Right.
Yes.
Yep.
But like, don't you kind of feel like you got to take Barry, Graxon, and Priest to cover yourself? Because like you're going to be pissed if like one of those three beat Keselowski and Buescher and Blaney, was ho hum.
But don't you think that one of those Fords is? I would think whoever is top Ford probably finishes in the top 4 in this race. Do you think do you think they have that kind of upside?
Yeah. I don't think they do, but what you're saying makes sense.
Now, who did you say is that bucket of Fords? It'd be Buescher, Kez, and who?
Barry, Priest, and Graxon.
So Caesars has Buescher at 8-1. You can get Kez at 11-1. And then Priest is 22, and then you can get Graxon at 30.
I have a hard time seeing one of them finishing in the top 5. And I think you're gonna need to finish in the top 5 to be the top Ford.
Well,
Camby's got Brian Blaney minus 118 to top 10 or top 5. Would you just bet that straight? Okay.
Say it again. Ryan Blaney.
Yeah, to top 5 is minus 118 at Camby.
The problem is if Coop is right, how exposed do you really want to be to the guy? Because I'm gonna have to bet him to win the race.
His numbers have fallen.
But in this market, Meyer, like where you're talking about an 8-1 and an 11-1, I wouldn't mind betting Blaney at even money to maybe hedge off of Busher and Keselowski. Coop, realistically, what do you expect out of Logano?
Solid. 8th to 12th all day.
He's the guy that worries me in this market.
Yeah, he's another guy that can stretch the tire too.
Yeah, he's my one. Like, I wouldn't mind betting Blaney, Busher, and Keselowski, and either break even if Blaney wins. But Logano worries me.
What do you think about his fall or his spring performances, though? I mean, in 2023, he was 18th in speed, and then he was 25th last year in spring.
Concerning, because like, who knows what they do in that championship race? Do they just get the fuck out of the way for those 4 guys?
Like, you just know how strong Ford is late in the year. Like, I mean, would it shock you if he just no-shows?
They didn't win their first Cup race until race 13, I think, last year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'd be shocked at all if he's just like Coop said, he just rides around in the teens, low teens, or whatever all day.
So in the spring races, the 3 of them, Blaney's been the top Ford 1 time.
Who were the other 2?
Last year
Busher.
was Busher.
I assume Busher was one, right?
Yeah, and then Briscoe was the other.
But Kes wasn't far off. They finished 2 and
5th.
4 or 2 and 5 in
Yeah,
spring.
3-5, and then Blaney was 6th. Or
Yeah.
no, 3-4.
No, he squeaked in. Yeah, Blaney squeaked into the top 5 on the last lap. Otherwise, he won the top 5 in spring.
Yeah. I mean, I think those are the guys that I would target in the top Ford market. I might bet them.
Can you get a plus number on Blaney? Straight?
I mean,
Yep. You
yeah,
can get plus 110 at MGM.
I think at those prices, what did you say? 8-1 and 11?
Yes.
You could throw a unit on Blaney and a half unit on those 2. And hope you can get the long shot.
Yeah.
All right. Top Toyota. I think that there are 4 Toyotas that could win the race. Now that I think about it, I forgot about Tyler Reddick. I mean, he could come with a car that could win this race.
He was very good in the spring.
I think Chris Bell is definitely the best guy in the world right now, based on car performance on a short track, coming off what we saw last year. So I totally get why he's the big favorite here. I think you got to be on him if you're going to bet this market. But Denny Hamlin, Chase Briscoe, and Tyler Reddick are not that far behind in terms of performance and skill. So I don't know. This is a tough one, man. Like, if you can get $15-1 on Denny Hamlin and Briscoe, and $15-1 on Reddick, and maybe just cover the investment on Bell, and hope and hope that he doesn't have it, I think you could make money.
Oh, you definitely could. The only issue is, like, you could all draw dead before it even starts the race because your parlays die.
Right. But this is the life we live now. So it's the reason why we make 250 units in a year, betting 1 unit. We take shots, and they pay off far more often than they don't. So if I was just going to bet one guy here, I'm betting Chase Briscoe at almost 4-1. I can't get I just don't think there's that big of a difference in price between Bell at plus 115 on a short track where the tire is going to wear and Chase Briscoe now in tier 1 equipment on a short track with a tire that's going to wear. I don't think there's $2.50 difference in value there. So I would probably lean towards Briscoe. But I mean, what are you going to just forget about Denny and Reddick? Like they can't show up and stick your dick in the dirt. I mean,
I think Denny's going to be really good here, personally.
And to be honest, I don't hate Bubba Wallace at 22-1 either.
The other night, like you were like, I just can't get to that 13-1 on Briscoe, man. Like that's a lot of respect.
Coop, he's going up against two people. It's two people.
You just paid the guy a lot of respect, man, by what you said.
Meyer, do I speak Chinese?
Sometimes.
Fucking hey. Yeah, I wanted 20. And by the way, old man, you could have told me that Hard Rock opened them at 22.50 because I would have called Joanne.
I mean, Hard Rocks, you can get $25 now.
Well, listen, bro. Apparently some
Listen,
people.
Joanne had a clean account, Coop.
The dude in Discord had a cook, or the YouTube chat had a clean account and was able to get what, 50 down?
But then you go ask Stenberg, and he's like, "They'll take thousands." He's like, "They'll take thousands." I'm like, "Thousands of what? Fucking rubles?"
Well, you know what?
You mean
Maybe
whatever, bro.
Whatever. I could be completely wrong. I would not be surprised if they take a lot more from people who live in Florida
because they have no other option.
Right.
Oh, maybe is that the cheat code? Just move to Florida?
Well, maybe if you have a clean account, maybe your boy Jeff can help you out. Okay, did you see? Do you want to cover qualifying tonight at all?
I mean, we could.
Well, I was just going to say in this market because DK has the best numbers on Toyotas.
Hold on.
I'm not going there. I'm still talking about the top Toyota market.
Okay,
but they have Briscoe at 450. He's the fourth ranked Toyota over at DK. Reddick's ahead of him, and so is Denny and Bell.
Oh, okay. So what's the best price that you see on Chris Bell to be top Toyota right now?
Plus 125. Capturing them when they opened, the best open was 150, and that was DK and ESPN. But DK's got it down to 125 now.
What do you think, Coop? Do you think you could just bet Bell and Briscoe without betting Hamlin and Reddick?
Not feeling comfortable. Yes.
Reddick had the number one speed rank here in the spring last year. He was ahead of Bell.
Like if I go into Sunday and I win 15 units on the Xfinity race, I would feel much more comfortable making that bet than
Of course.
But
we haven't talked about Xfinity either. Obviously,
we haven't even got through half of the props.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. All right, let's go.
Like, do you like the top Ford market better or the top Toyota? I would prefer the Ford.
I agree. I think there's more money to be made if Blaney shits the bed in the Ford market than there is in the Toyota market.
Here's the thing. I think we'll have a better shot to make more money in the top Ford, but I think it's definitely safer to bet Toyota if you're going to get these four guys, if you're going to bet all four.
Okay, fair.
But would you, if you're going to do that same thing with Ford, would you, or that, if you're going to bet Blaney and then take the 2 shots or 3 shots, whatever, on the other Fords, would you not do the same thing with the Toyotas? Because, Bell's price pretty much right there with Blaney.
Yeah, but there's no 8 and 11-1 now. We're talking about 3-1, 4-1.
You bet them straight.
Plus, we're not going to be like Joey Logano. I think could fuck you in that top Ford market. I don't know. I got to think about it, but I don't mind either market. I don't mind getting involved if we could find something. I got to finish up capping MMA. All right, group bets. Any group bets you guys saw that you liked?
I haven't looked at any, to be honest.
Well, let's look, old man.
The only one that's kind of interesting is Group D. Group D at DK. Barry, Gibbs, Bubba, and Kez. You can get Bubba and Kez over Barry and Gibbs, and those are both plus 340.
I like that. I worry a little bit about Berry, but again, how do you price that guy as the favorite in that group when you don't know what Wood is going to give him?
And he's half the price as Kez and Bubba.
That's wild. Yeah, I don't mind that. Ty Gibbs couldn't be drawn more fucking dead in this race.
I don't mind Group E taking a shot on Graxon and Priest at 270 over Suarez and Custer.
Graxon and Priest, 270. Suarez and Custer.
What about you
Oh
can
my
get 280 on Gregson?
Chris
on
Buescher
Caesar.
is 3-1 in a group with Ty Gibbs, Kyle Busch, and Ross Chastain. Take my fucking money.
You don't worry about Ross?
That's probably a
Yeah, you bet him
365.
too. You bet him too.
Is that at 365?
Yeah.
Son
I'm
of a
just
bitch.
sorry. I'm just looking at these first. Yeah, I mean Ross is plus 175. Honestly, though, Coop, can you parlay these groups?
Yeah.
Why are we not doing that? Why are we not doing that?
Not me question.
Why are we not trying to get this 3-1 to 10-1 and that 2-1 to 8-1 and go heads up against Kyle Busch and Ty Gibbs? Like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
That just hit me after fucking 8 years. Why aren't we doing that?
Well, tell the Discord to open their checkbooks. We got a new market.
Listen, bro, you, me, and Yeg got the market by a year on first quarter alternative player props. We set trends, kid. Remember that. Never forget it. Yeah, I'm with you. So, yeah, I think you got to bet Chastain and Buescher in Group C at bet 365, right? I mean, that price on Briscoe's a little disrespectful in Group A, Coop. He's 5-1, basically.
Yeah, that's a tough group, though.
It is.
What's that group? What was that group at 365? It was Buescher and
Chastain, Buescher, Busch, and Gibbs.
Okay. So Canby has that same one, but Buescher's 285. What's 365 got?
3-1.
Okay.
What do they have on Chastain?
Plus 190.
Oh, that's even better. He's plus 175.
Just for reference on at Canby, so Kez, Barry, Bowman, and Bubba. Kez is the favorite at 185 in that group. Yet you put Barry and Gibbs in that group, and he's plus 340. Or you just swap Bowman for Gibbs, and Kez is plus 340 at DK. Like that price on Kez in that group is wrong at DK.
I don't disagree. I like that call out. I like Bubba and Kez in that group. I think that's the second best thing I've heard.
And say it wouldn't even take much. Like you find a great MMA league. I mean, you get that 5-6-1 on both those guys.
See, like you see that group C at DK, Coop. You see that group C at DK? That's the right group. It should be Briscoe, Chastain, Buescher, and KB. They're fucking up putting Gibbs in that group.
Yeah, I would agree.
I mean, Ty Gibbs does have a third place finish here. He's not, obviously running well right now. Didn't finish last year strong, but it's his only top 20 finish here in 4 races.
And throw a long run on those option tires and wave goodbye to Ty Gibbs.
All right.
I don't. Anybody else have groups?
MGM does, I believe. They might just have head-to-heads right now. Yeah, they just have head-to-heads.
They're the slowest market when it comes out to the props.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't even have top 5, or they didn't even have top finishes until today, I don't think, or last night.
Any groups at Little C that you guys liked?
No, they're priced so much worse. Like, unless Coop likes, unless you like Hocevar or Gregson over Priest and Suarez, or just maybe just take the solo shot on Gregson. I don't like the numbers aren't great. Like everybody in that group is 225 to 280.
When is practice and qualifying for Cup?
Saturday.
What
midday.
What about Xfinity?
Saturday morning.
Okay. So at least we have tomorrow. All right. Yeah. So at least 2 groups I don't mind betting. Group C on Bet365, and Group D that Meyer mentioned on DK. What was the group that you liked again, Coop?
It was on MGM, I think.
Was it Priest and Gregson against Custer and Suarez?
Correct.
Group E.
E.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Not bad. Found a couple groups.
Could you get them to 5-1?
Yeah.
Easy.
Any matchups you guys liked?
No, not in Cup.
I don't mind Briscoe at even money against Elliott. I don't mind Kyle Larson at plus 120 against Chris Bell either.
Yeah, that's like if you want to fade Chris Bell on head-to-heads, you could.
I'm not looking to fade him, but like, if you're going to give me plus 120 with the best guy in the world, maybe.
I mean, you can get plus 135 Logano against Blaine.
Plus 135 Logano against Blaney. Cooper might have that ticket in his pocket right now.
No, I don't have anything.
Denny Hamlin's plus 130 against Blaney too. Until he runs second again. She gets right on my head. I don't really see matchups I like.
I do like one in Xfinity.
All right, hold on. Let's stay with Cup for a minute.
Denny's even money against Kyle Larson.
Stage 1 winner is tough to do without knowing who's on the track. Have you ever seen Stage 1 winner out on a Thursday night?
No.
It was out on Wednesday night.
You think that they're doing it? They're flipping it, Coop. They're going to pull them off the board once practice and qualifying happens.
Well, the numbers are really low because this is what you were getting after qualifying, like plus 400, plus 425, right? In that range.
Yeah. Yeah.
So to me, like the numbers should be a little bit more not knowing. Like the other thing too, by them doing this, it might take people off of qualifying bets because you're basically it's the same bet. Like you're not betting somebody, starting 24th to win the stage.
Right. Yeah, it's just I don't know. I haven't even thought about.
I think like out of the 6 races, I think 5 of the 6 have been won from 3rd, 2nd, or 1st, stage 1.
They're pricing that like stage 1. The winner of stage 1 wins the race is plus 160.
Yeah, Caesars.
That's so absurd. Yeah, I mean,
stage 2 already.
I guess. I mean, that at least that puts you in a box, knowing that it's happened in the top 3.
Like Chase Briscoe is 425 to win the pole. All right. I'm taking the 10-1 that he wins stage 1 versus betting the 425 to win the pole. Because he could win stage 1 and qualify 1st, 2nd, or 3rd.
Yeah.
Like I think that's how you kind of got to look at it now that they're offering both of them pre.
So, do we see an edge in qualifying? Is anybody consistently qualifying at the top of the field?
Hendrick.
I'll look into that tonight.
Spring race last year was 1 through 4 was all Toyotas.
5, 3, and 3 for Byron. These are just spring races.
5.
Denny was on
1 and 7 for Larson.
All right. I have no opinion right now on stage 1 and qualifying. You have anything you want to add?
Denny Hamlin is probably 1, 2, and 2 in the spring.
In terms of where he started?
Yep.
No shit.
Yeah, he was on the pole in spring 24. But even being on pole, Coop, he was he finished both stages in 3rd.
Right.
Yeah.
And Reddick started in 6th in the spring and finished stage 1 in 1st. But all of that is kind of moot because I mean, if Bell didn't shit the bed in qualifying, he would have won stage 1. He started in 13th. Definitely had the best long run car.
Denny is plus 600 to win stage 1, plus 600 to win qualifying. Like that's how the numbers should be, like pretty close to each other.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That Briscoe one is kind of an anomaly.
What is he, 10-1?
Yeah, to win stage 1.
All right. That's all the markets, basically, for the props. We've let you guys know basically where we're at. We'll talk about Xfinity quickly. I have barely looked into the race for Xfinity yet, but it is Phoenix. So I'm assuming that you guys think Almirola is going to be in play. Allgaier. Who else?
Bowman's in the race, but I don't know how much of a factor. Like they're pricing Bowman like he's the favorite.
And keep in mind they have different drivers every year, but the last 8 Xfinity races have been won by 8 different drivers in the spring. Or not the spring, just the last 8, excuse me.
Anybody on your radar, Coop? Have you looked at that race yet?
Yeah, I bet Almirola, Allgaier, and Creed.
Almirola, Allgaier, and Creed. Obviously. With a little help.
Yeah.
Because what are their odds? 350, 4. Creed's 10-1. That's not bad.
Like if I was just betting it straight, I would start with Creed at 10-1. He's been pretty good here. In different cars, too.
Yeah, I have not looked at Xfinity yet. Meyer?
The only thing that I liked that really stood out to me was Allgaier over Bowman in a head-to-head. It was like minus 120 for Allgaier.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you guys have an idea of the props that we like, where we're at, the drivers that we like to win the race, and everything in between. Coop and I will release action for Nuke subs as the week goes on. Check the spreadsheet, check the Discord. For people that are on Odd Shopper, we'll be getting to you guys soon as well. So make sure to check that out. And that's it. We will be back on Saturday for UFC 313 and the Xfinity race. Sunday, we've got the Cup race. Good week, good start to March. Let's build on it. Hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and please take advantage of the free week, man. Use the promo code NASCAR is back at nukethehouse.com. Get a 1-week free trial. And with that, we will see you guys Saturday afternoon. For the boys, I'm Keg. We're out. Later.